And if we could swear in our newly elected board members. Judge Grijalva, whenever you're ready, sir. The newly elected. Kim, Gilbert, and Angelica. Do you want to do them all at the same time? That work for you?
No,
Okay.
that's fine. How many are there? 3?
3.
Let's see.
That's fine.
Okay, raise your right hand. I, David Wilgus,
I, David Wilgus,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico.
the Constitution and laws of New Mexico.
I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of office
Discharge the duties of office
of school board member in which I am about to enter.
which I am
About to enter.
about to enter,
According to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God. Congratulations. Need signature.
Didn't think I could do that, did you, Clark? I couldn't do that, I meant.
Come in, huh?
166.
You want to come up here? You want to? I can give you this. Okay, raise your right hand. I, Gilbert Guadiana,
I, Gilbert Williams,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of New Mexico.
of the state of New Mexico.
I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of office of school board member
of office of school board member,
in which I am about to enter,
in which I am about to enter,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my
so
ability,
help me God.
to help me God.
Raise your right hand. I, Angelina Hardy,
I, Angelina Harden,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the constitutions and laws
of the state of New
New
Mexico.
Mexico.
I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of office of school board member
of office of school board member
in which I am about to enter,
in which I'm about to enter,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Judge. We appreciate it. All right, that moves us to item C, our roll call. Mrs. Harden?
Present.
I'm here. Mr. Carrillo?
I'm here.
Mr. Guadiana? Mr. Wilgres? All right, that moves us to item D, our board norms. Item 1, actively listen to all perspectives.
2, close the loop, responding to concerns and questions as a unified board.
3, model the professionalism we expect from all members of the district and community. Customer service orientation.
Okay, thank you. That moves us to the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the leading symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
All right, that moves us to item F, our Kiwanis Student of the Month presentation. Mrs. Pfeiffer, whenever you're ready.
Can you just get the microphone so it turns green?
Yeah. None of the students are here today. Do you want me to just hand these off, or do you want to do this next month and have 4 students then?
I think maybe next month so they can be here and accept it.
Yeah, one of them's sick and I don't know what the other one is, but probably practice. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, maybe they could get off, at that point.
Okay.
And okay.
Sorry for you making the trip out
That's
here. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, that moves us to item 2, adoption of the agenda. Are there any questions?
I have a request.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move an action item in the E and F to be in between B and C.
Okay, would you like to make a motion?
I make the motion to move B and F to be between B and C and action item, section 5.
Say that last part again.
Right? Under action item number 5, move B and E to be in between B and C.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'm asking for that, we can be discussing, is the implications would impact the board reorganization as will be. So it would be counterproductive to have any changes to the reorganization after we've been appointed. It'd be better for people to vote based on information that is going to be provided that determines how we can be an effective board officer as well as committee participant.
Okay, I'm still waiting for a second. Hearing none, I'm sorry, but it cannot go forward. Mr. Piper, do you have any other recommendations?
I can see Mr. Gadiana's request, and I think it's valid, but then again, you as the board are going to make the decision on the approval of the agenda.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I approve the agenda as is.
Do I have a second?
Also,
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, we adopted the agenda. That moves us to item 3, our student representative report.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here again. First of all, I would just like to say thank you to everyone that fought for us to be able to be paid through the Innovations Grant. I know that it truly takes everyone, and I would just like to say thank you to everyone that helped us get to that point. I would also like to say thank you to Mr. Corey for always advocating for us and also fixing the amount that we should have been paid. Louder? Okay.
Yes,
Do you want me
please.
just to repeat it?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, is that better? That's better? Okay. I would like to say thank you to everyone that was involved in being able to get us paid through the Innovations Grant. I really appreciated everyone that fought that battle for us and is always advocating for the students, especially the Finance Committee, Mr. Ryan. I know that you were very involved in that, and I'm so thankful for that as well. Mr. Corey, I would like to thank him for also fighting for us as well to get the amount fixed that we were paid. He discussed that with me, I think last week. And then also, Mr. Piper just brought it to my attention that the potholes in the back of the parking lot were fixed, and I would like to say thank you for that as well. That's really big to all of us. And I think that is all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that moves us to item 4, public input. Is there anyone that would like to give public input on item A, agenda items? Is there anyone online?
check right now.
Okay.
Just good evening to the Cobre School Board and wishing for you guys to have a good meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Quinones. Is there any public input on item B, items of concern? Okay, thank you. That moves us to item 5, our action items. Item A, approval of the December 15th, 2025 regular board meeting minutes. Is there any discussion or questions? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. So would you like to abstain?
Would you like?
Okay, thank you. All right, that moves us to item B, approval of resolution to sanction board member. Mr. Carrillo, did you want to read the resolution, or would you like me to do it? Okay.
About explaining what sanction the board member has.
Sure. At our last board meeting, the board, Mr. Carrillo brought forward. At our last board meeting, Mr. Carrillo brought forward a sanction against Mr. Guadiana, and he listed the items as in the minutes of why he felt Mr. Guadiana needed to be sanctioned. And after Mr. Carrillo presented the sanction proposal, the board voted on the sanction. I don't know, sir. I'd have to look it up.
I was going to do that to them after that. Because I don't know what sanction means.
And at,
It means that they're not allowed to talk, it means that they can't come to meetings, you know.
no, sir, at this point, the resolution, which makes it official, will be read right now, and it will state what we are proposing as a board to put forth.
Since he was just sworn in tonight as a new member, you're going after him for something he did as an old member. So I feel by the Constitution, you can't do that because you're penalizing him for a past crime. Sorry, but that's how I feel.
And there is case law that supports that. You cannot sanction somebody in a term or a previous term, action taken in a previous term.
We did have a vote by the board, and at this point, we're at the discussion point, which we are discussing, but I would like for Mr. Carrillo to go ahead and read the resolution.
Just a point of order.
Yeah.
Resolution of the Board of Education of the Cobre Consolidated District and Second Century of School Board Member Gilbert Guadiana. On this 19th day of January 2026, the Board of Education of the Cobre Consolidated School District adopted by vote the following findings and resolutions. Whereas this board has previously sanctioned Cobre School Board Member Gilbert Guadiana and now is presented with a second sanction within a 12-month period. And whereas repeated failure to uphold board responsibilities undermines governance and public trust. And whereas on December 15, 2025, the majority of the board voted in favor of a public censure against member Gilbert Guadiana for his actions circumventing the processes and board policy for board meeting agenda items by submitting a letter to the editor. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Cobre School Board adopts the following consequences for Gilbert Guadiana's conduct, consistent with district policy. 1, formal public censure, whereas the Public School Board shall issue a written censure entered into the official board meeting minutes and published as appropriate. This resolution shall serve as that written. Whereas Gilbert Guadiana shall immediately removed from any officer position and shall not be appointed to any board leadership capacity or committee assignment for a period of 1 year following the effective date of this sanction. Whereas Gilbert Guadiana shall not represent Cobre School Board District in any external official capacity, such as speaking engagements, media representation, legislative testimony, or official liaison roles, unless specifically authorized by a majority vote from the Cobre School Board. Whereas Gilbert Guadiana shall complete board governance, ethics, and school board duty training approved by the New Mexico Public Education Department within 90 days of this resolution. Proof of completion shall be presented to the Cobre School Board and retained in district records. Whereas during the sanction period, Gilbert Guadiana may attend board meetings and participate only to the extent permitted under law and district policy, except as otherwise limited in this resolution, and must comply fully with all laws and board policy requirements regarding decorum, confidentiality, conflict of interest, and meeting participation. Whereas the Cobre School Board formally notifies Cobre Guadiana that any future violations of board policy may lead to one or more of the following: formal letter complaint to the New Mexico Board of Ethics Committee. Be it therefore further resolved that all sanctions, actions taken, and training completed shall be documented in the Cobre School Board minutes and made available in accordance with the New Mexico Inspection of Public Records Act, ensuring transparency to the public. Thursday, good time.
Thank you. So I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. Please.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in,
Just, excuse me, discussion?
oh yes, discussion, I'm sorry.
As was pointed out, that the action occurred in my previous term, and action cannot be taken on a previous term when a person has been reelected. That itself is an affirmation of the qualification and the performance of that member. So I would protest this and see it as a continuing action of harassment, especially in the point where the issue being taken is where I exercised my First Amendment rights of putting out information that I was not given an opportunity to speak to at a board meeting. Repeated requests for my items to be put on the agenda have been denied. And to use the justification as that I am circumventing the board agenda policy is really laughable. That was a very conscious act to affront that prohibition. And furthermore, the requirement of sanctions to occur during the term that a member is in is foremost. And I log a complaint against that, and I view this as continuing harassment. And don't see that the penalties here reflect anywhere close to what was identified as an issue of violating policy.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. And Mr. Piper, can you speak to the agenda items? We've consulted legal counsel with every request. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, legal counsel, sorry. I may not need it turned up that much. Legal counsel was consulted on every item that was on the agenda, yes.
Question is, did that go back for several months? Because that was requested along with many other things that were never put on the agenda.
Which items?
I can go back to my emails and I can find them, and I will do that as a matter of protest to validate what I'm saying. But that can happen later.
I have a question. Does Mr. Guadiana presented any documentation to this board or to yourself or to Mr. Piper of what he's talking about? Him being a board member last term and cannot sanction him for this coming term. Has he provided any documentation or cited anything to you?
This is the first I hear of it.
I have a question. Is it a board member from a calendar year instead of school year, or does it mention or appointed?
So it's the term, but this resolution was given to legal counsel.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to ask a couple questions, probably.
Sure.
Is all the information that Gilbert has been putting in the paper, which I haven't read much of it, I don't buy the newspaper. What I can read, I read on the internet. But is the information that he's putting in the paper, is it public information? Can anybody in the public go in and get the information that he's putting in the newspaper? If it is, then I don't see where he's done anything wrong. I'm not defending him. I'm just trying to go by what the law should feel or the law should say.
But Mr. Williams, to be honest with you, sir, and with all due respect, we presented this last meeting, which was in December, and you weren't able to see any of it. So you asking the questions are pretty fair, but defending it and questioning, everything was presented last meeting, which was last December. I believe we can get you copies of it, so you can kind of see everything.
Well, I read the minutes.
Okay.
But, what I'm saying is, if it's public information, then I don't see where he's violated the law.
Mr. Williams, it wasn't the fact of what he presented. Sorry, is it on now? I'm sorry. Well, so it wasn't the facts that he presented. It was the facts that he violated district policy into going to the press. So whether that information was correct or incorrect, I don't know. It was the fact of him violating the district policy as a school board member.
So as a school board member, you're not allowed to give information to the news media and people?
I suggest that you read the district policy and the school
Because
board.
what I just read yesterday and took a test on stated that board members are to discuss things with the public and let them know what's going on, as long as it's not personnel.
In a school board meeting,
finances.
yes, sir. You don't
No.
go to the press according to our policy.
Going to the press or go sitting in
We
the restaurant talking.
cannot speak individually and give an opinion. Our power lies in us as a board, as 5.
Well, I'm not sure, but I will read some laws on it, because what it sounds like to me, and I'm not defending Gilbert, I just want to make sure that it's right, and and this school system doesn't need another damn lawsuit. Got enough lawsuits right now.
To who? Okay.
I don't care who it's to, I'm just saying, there's enough lawsuits, the bitching and the bickering needs to stop between the board.
We're getting off topic, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, sir.
If everybody can't get along, how in the hell are we going to do something that's constructive for the system and the kids?
But we all have to comply with the rules and regulations of this, sir. I mean, that's the thing. First of all, it's accountability. So if one of us is stepping out of line, we have to hold ourselves accountable first, then move forward with we work together and go from there. So we're fixing this first. We should fix us first.
But what I have read in my studies for being on the board says that we are to let the public know what's going on.
And
And we're supposed to report it to the state if we feel there's a violation.
Sir, so the way I provide things when I present, I get my facts, and I'm sure if you're right, you're right. But I present it to the whole board as far as bringing documentation.
Well, if everybody
bring
thinks,
documentation.
if everybody
supporting
thinks he's doing something wrong, then he needs to be reported to the Secretary of State and let the Secretary of State make a decision on it.
The PED secretary has no authority over school boards.
Well, yes, he does.
No, sir. If you look at our training manual, the only way to sanction a school board member is to do a censure/sanction or a recall election, and that's the only way to remove a school board member or a consequence of a school board member.
But if an elected official is violating something, then the Secretary of State is responsible to take action against that elected official.
Or the school board on the district policies, on the policy of the school board members.
And that includes any person that draws a salary or does work for any position in the state.
We're not paid, sir. We don't draw a salary. Am I right, Ms. Madam President?
Yes, we're public servants.
Well, we are public service.
We're public servants and we don't get a salary. We're not employed by the school district.
Yeah. I hate to disagree with you. You've been on here longer than me, but I'm trying to go by common sense and law.
Okay, sir, that's your opinion. We do have a motion and we have a second. I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Me?
Okay, it's still a 3-2. Okay, that moves us to item C, board reorganization, nomination and appointments. I'll open nominations for president.
I would like to nominate Mr. Lucas.
I
Okay,
don't want it.
You know what?
I don't have enough knowledge right now.
That's still, I think, way ahead.
okay, there's been a nomination. I'd also like to nominate Mr. Hector Carrillo to be board president.
I second for Mr. Carrillo.
Okay, is there a second for Mr. Wilkes? Seeing none, are there any other nominations for president? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of nominating Mr. Hector Carrillo for board president signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay. Still passes. Congratulations, Mr. Carrillo. Go ahead and hand over the gavel to you.
Oh, I'll slap you.
That was great. Thank you, Ms. Madam.
Yes, of course.
I want to tell you, thank you for what you've done these last few years that you've been president in your leadership. Thank you very much for all your hard work.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed serving as board president. Kids and teachers are near and dear to my heart as an educator. It's important to me that we represent these kids and at the end of the day, remember why we're here. So thank you.
And with that in mind, we'll go with C2 now, nomination for vice president.
I nominate Miss Gabby Begay.
There's a nomination for Ms. Gabby. Any more nominations?
I'll second it.
They're getting as many people that are interested in it.
So there is a second for Ms. Gabby Begay, vice president.
Yeah.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign?
No,
Vote passes. Congratulations, Ms. Begay.
Thank you. Thank you.
See, I can be fair.
Item C3, nominations for secretary.
I'd like to nominate Mrs. Angelina Harden.
There's a nomination now on the floor for Ms. Harden for secretary. Any more nominations?
I'd say Miss Harden.
So is there a second for Ms. Angelina Harden?
You don't mind doing it, do you, Angelina?
No, sir. I've done it.
I don't want to stick your foot in it if you don't want it.
I'll second for Ms. Angelina Harden to be nominated for secretary. So the first and second. We'll take the vote. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, same sign? No opposed? Congratulations, Ms. Harden.
Thank you, my honor.
Thank you.
We're moving now to 5D, board committee nominations and appointments. One nomination for 2 members for the finance subcommittee. Do I hear a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Hector Carrillo to the finance committee.
I second that.
First and second
Who's it for,
for
Hector?
myself to be in the sub-finance committee.
Okay, I'll second if nobody did.
There's a second. So,
Okay.
We'll go for 1 member right now of For a vote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Signify same sign. Vote passes. Mr. Leon, did you vote? I didn't vote.
That's right.
Okay, no, it's not all right because on board, I'm actually on our board, again, rules is that's our number one job up here is to vote. So if you abstain from a vote, you have to have
Consider my
board
silence.
approval.
I consider my silence as abstaining.
So if there's an abstainment, the board has to approve why, yes or no, to let you abstain. Now, if.
Why would you have to approve as to whether I abstain or not?
Because that's in our board, that's in the policy, sir. I mean, you've been here 8 years, you should know
You
that.
don't have, I would have a policy that says
There is
that the
a
board has to
policy. Do you have
approve my
that?
abstention.
I don't have it on me.
Give me a second. Can I borrow that? Do you know what I'm talking
No, I
about?
don't have it, but I believe that if somebody abstains, you have to have a permission to abstain.
To abstain.
Because then the board member is supposed to.
Right. Well, that's our number one
And
job.
now it should be something that you have conflict of interest or something.
Right.
If you abstain, that automatically goes with the yes vote.
I read something, if he doesn't vote, but if there is no vote from that board member,
I
haven't. Okay, I'll research that. I read something on that, but we'll research that.
To make it simple, then my vote is no.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion still passes. That's for one board member. I need a second board member for the finance subcommittee nomination. I will nominate our vice president, Ms. Gabby, to be in the subcommittee finance.
I second that.
There's a second. All in favor? I'm sorry. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 41.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to continuing to serve on Finance Committee.
Number 2, nomination for 2 members of the audit committee.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Wilgers to the Audit Committee.
I second that.
The first and second. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Williams, you are in the audit committee? I thought you were in the audit committee.
Oh,
Yes, okay, sorry. I
I'm
guess
sorry.
you mean I gotta keep my eye on Frank?
I'm sorry.
And I would like, I thought that was another nomination for Mr. Carrillo, so I would like to change my vote to aye. Support of Mr. Williams.
Okay, motion passes. I need one more member to be nominated to the audit committee.
I'd like to nominate Mrs. Angelina Harden to the Audit Committee.
I'll second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Signify by saying aye. Congratulations, Ms. Harden and Mr. Wilkes for being on the audit committee. We move on next to the agenda. Is E, discussion and approval to sanction board member.
This is the item I requested to put on, and it relates to the closed session that occurred in December, at our December meeting. There were 2 items that were put on executive session. One of them was to inform the interim superintendent so that he can update and discuss student issues, particularly including personally identifiable information about an individual student as permitted under section 10-15-1. Then the second one was so that there be an interim superintendent update to discuss limited personnel matters permitted under section 10-15-1, the same Open Meetings Act provision. The president of the newly elected, well, at that time he was a member of the board or vice president of the board, entered into a discussion that was outside of the parameter that we had that was intended to be discussed. And both myself and the superintendent cautioned him, saying that that item wasn't intended to be as part of this closed session.
he read the language and saw it met the criteria, so therefore he could go ahead and talk about it. And if there were any objections, we could step out of the conference room and we would talk. The discussion would continue in their absence. That is the other thing is there's the second odd concern, and the concern that the discussion that followed did not meet the criteria for Open Meetings Act. There was nothing discussed that had to do anything with student identifiable information. And that would be the first sanction on the agenda that I'm asking for. And so I would like to have a sanction placed on Mr. Carrillo, and that sanction should be that he attend or use the training that's been obtained by the district to familiarize himself with the requirements under the Open Meetings Act, particularly those that have to do to discussions in executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. William. In response, I will read the agenda that was on Monday, December 15th, 2025 at 5 p.m. and it took place here. On this agenda, on number 11, section D, it says, and it reads, so that the interim superintendent can update and discuss limited personnel matters as permitted under section 10-15-1 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. Unfortunately, that's it. That was it. So if I can explain to the board here, that's what I went off of to talk about. It doesn't specifically say limited personnel, maintenance department, limited personnel, Bayard staff, limited personnel administration staff. It didn't say any of that. All I did was discuss what's on the agenda. I mean, it said can update and discuss limited personnel matters as permitted. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't do anything intentional to violate the Open Meetings Act. I went off of what was written on the and typed up on the agenda that we all approved.
And I agree with everything you said, but that goes into the actual point of my request for the sanction, and that is that we put language that did not meet the Open Meetings Act. And I think that was done consciously because there was a feeling that there was a fear that the person listed on the if there was anything more descriptive, he or she would be easily identifiable. So the language was very loose, and that's not my call. That was the superintendent's and the president's call.
So how's that my fault?
So using that opportunity of language that does not fit the criteria of the Open Meetings Act for closed session as a license to talk about other things, even though we noted to you that wasn't one of the intentions of the discussions for that item.
But Mr. Willana, would you agree that it was still it was personnel? Right. It was still personnel.
It was certainly worth the discussion, but it was an Open Meetings Act discussion. It was not a Closed Meeting Act discussion. It did not meet that criteria.
But that's what's on the agenda, sir. I mean, I just went off of the agenda. Mr. Piper, can you?
Yes, I followed up with legal on this, and they said the language was acceptable. They would like to see it more specific, stating superintendent's contract, administration, HR department, something like that in the future. And I'll own that, and I will do a better job of being more specific on the agenda items.
Okay. Any more discussion on the?
I just want to note that we've had that before on a lot of other previous agendas.
No, I mean, Hector.
Yes.
I want to ask a question.
He's not allowed to speak at this
And
time.
that is,
Mr. Cadell, we have public input, and that's where the public actually can come out and discuss and they can tell us their concerns, but unfortunately on these items, you're not allowed to discuss them with us.
I can't
No,
ask you
sir.
questions.
No, sir.
The public's not allowed to talk?
There,
Only on public comment, Mr. Wilkins.
That's president's discretion.
no, it's not. It's listed on the agenda, public input, and we do put agenda items and also items of concern.
And the agenda item is what he wants to address, and
But
so
he
it's
should have
not like
addressed
it's a
that,
violation.
and he should have addressed
But
that.
the public is supposed to be able to discuss agenda items.
And they are,
If they
sir.
have a question.
But at the right time. There was a number 4, public input, agenda items, and there was also items of concern that he could have came up at that time and discussed this.
But
It's impossible to think that he could anticipate what the discussion would lead to, and
We have never allowed anyone to come up and give public comment on an agenda item. In fact, you've actually objected to it in the past because it wasn't under public
well,
input.
this is the first government meeting I've ever been in that the public wasn't allowed to discuss an action or a motion or anything that's
Sir-
on an agenda.
Sir, they were allowed to discuss when I asked, is there any public input on agenda items? And then I also asked, was there any public input on items of concern? And then there's a form when you sign in that if you would like to give public input, you put your name on the paper and we acknowledge the member of the public to give public input. Dr. Quinones came on when I asked if anyone would like to give public input, and he did say, please have a good meeting. And so that was the time to give your public input.
But the people sitting out there have no idea what you're going to discuss
They haven't-
until you start discussing it.
Right. And they have an agenda.
Right, but the agenda doesn't tell you what is going to be on the discussion.
So then should we move number 4, public input, agenda items and items of concern? Should we move it toward
No, I
the
think-
end so that they can see?
No,
what
I
we
think that all the city board meetings, county commission meetings I've ever been to, if the board is discussing something, buying a car, doing an ordinance, the public always has their input at that time to discuss it.
How about we look into that, Mr. Wilkins? That's the best answer I could say. Mr. Piper will help us look into that with the legal, please.
That is the proper way of doing it.
And to correct Ms. Begay, when I was, the short time that I was president, I did allow comments to occur as they were spoken to as the board president.
I think often though, like for example, our last board meeting, our student representative gave her report and Mr. Carrillo wanted to engage with her to ask questions, and you said you cannot engage with her because it's not listed on the agenda to have a back and forth conversation.
Correct. It wasn't listed on the agenda, and that was the difference.
But it was listed as her student representative report, and you did not allow him the opportunity to do that.
Nondescript.
Am I supposed to understand what's going on? That's all.
How about this, sir? We're going to research this and then I'll get back to you. Unfortunately, right now, I'll have our superintendent research this with legal counsel to see if you are allowed to go ahead and ask questions when an item is being discussed amongst the board. I don't know the answer to that. Obviously, we're not in agreement with it, so I will research that, Mr. Cadell.
Well, I've been to a lot of county meetings and city meetings, and they always allow discussion from the public. They usually have a time limit, 2 or 3 minutes.
For public
the
input.
person to discuss it.
That's for public input.
No, that is on each
If they request to
agenda
be on the
item.
agenda, Mr. Wilkins?
Every item on the agenda, the public has the right to discuss it.
No, it's whoever's presenting. We'll research it, Mr. Wilkins. I won't come up with a actual answer right now for that. We'll research this for next meeting.
Well,
With that, you okay? So we're still on E, and it says discussion approval to sanction board member.
Okay, the second one has to do with the,
Are you talking about F, or you're still on E? Okay, so do you want to do these
Oh, no,
together?
okay.
Is it the same case, or do you want to?
no, we'll do the first one.
Okay. So it says discussion and approval to sanction board member.
I would make a motion that we censure, and there was one part, I'm sorry, there was one part that I left out, that the censures to include the board president who made no effort to contain that discussion. And I would see that very much as being her role.
I have a question.
So
What-
you have two sanctions on section?
That's, two people on the first
The two
section.
people on the first
I
sanction,
have a
okay.
question. What is the definition legally of sanction? Mr. Superintendent?
Let me look it up because
Yeah.
this has been a question. So I have my cell phone here and I'll look it up.
Mayor Bott?
No, you're good, Mr. Cadell.
And basically, the sanction is, it's going to depend upon what the resolution states as far as what the limitations are for that board member. So basically, it's going to limit their powers.
Thank you, Mr. Piper.
Okay, Mr. Wilgus, that was the definition. Were you able to hear from Mr. Piper? Okay,
That's what I asked earlier. I wanted to know what sanction meant.
gotcha.
Because, you know, we have sanctioned racetracks, we have sanctioned this, that.
Mr. Waliana, can you go ahead and repeat your motion?
Yes, I would like to I would like to make a motion that the sanction related to the Open Meetings Act violation, both on Mr. Carrillo and Ms. Begay, be imposed. And that sanction will be introduced as far as the consequence of at the next meeting with a draft of a resolution.
So we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I believe that's item F when it talks about members. I think E was on a single member, just as a correction there.
Okay, whichever one, but the other one, so long as I can make the other one.
Sure. So you want to, so you made a motion on E, and you motioned,
Hell, I'll second it just to get it done.
there's a first and a second for the motion that Mr. Waliana has put forth here.
You guys keep sectioning him, hell, they might as well do you. Let's make it fair.
Great first meeting for you, sir. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
2. All opposed signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay,
Motion does not pass. We'll go to F, discussion approval of sanction board members. Is this the same topic of E?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Waliana.
No, this has to do with access of personnel records and files. And to read our policy, says all documentation within a personnel file is confidential, and the district may create sub-files to create, let me just get to the part. No access to personnel files shall be limited to authorized district officials and employees. Individual board members shall have access only when specifically authorized by the board, as evidenced by the action of a quorum of the board in a legal meeting properly noticed. And absent that, our former president of the board requested items for 3 particular administration employees. And not reading their names, I'll go and say this is employee number 1. And the request was a complete list of stipends received throughout her employment with the district, including amounts, whether the stipends increased over time. Let's see, annual salary for each year of employment, and verification that the yearly contracts that match the district salaries. And another one, C, is the total amount spent in trainings attending in her capacity as an employee of the Cobre schools. And D, records identifying all interview committees for which the employee has records identifying the interview committee members that hired her as that position blank, including any signing sheets or notes from the for the hiring practice. And F, the current district policy on compensatory leave for administrative staff, including rules on how such timely leave may be used. And a second employee is A, the number of work days missed during his employment in a certain position. The interview committee sign-in sheets for people hired during his time as in a certain capacity. The number of student safety incidents and student discipline incidents at Cobre High School during the time of his tenure. The number of teacher complaints and parent complaints filed during his time, during his tenure. The amount spent on trainings attended by this person. Personal leave community sign-in sheets for all public professional learning community meetings held at Cobre High. Records showing how many hours this person spent on the central office on each Friday after he became in his tenure. Records identifying who is supervised under him during his tenure and approved the time off, and who completed the evaluations for a particular person. Then number 4, the next person, records of all travel taken by this person as her role as in her assignments, including total costs for such travel. Records showing the number of times that this person has visited school campuses, including signing sheets and documenting campus visits. The number of actions taken that has been present during her tenure, the number of violations that have occurred during her tenure, and copies of work schedules kept by this person on staff, and records showing whether the staff were visiting school sites, including sign-in sheets and schedules for each of the visits.
Mr. Carrillo, do I have a time to respond?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I did. I asked for those records not as a school board member. I asked as a member of the public. I used my private email address, and I wasn't given personnel records. And I'd just like to also say that it came to my attention that Mr. Guadiana, in fact, went and got contracts of a district employee. And so in him trying to sanction me, he just did the same thing to get an employee contract. But again, I requested that information as a member of the public. It shows that it came from my private email address. And I did state in there, this was not in my capacity as a school board member.
Thank you, Mr. Guadiana. Go ahead and finish it.
The requests were seen by the people that these records were requested about as being on the chopping block with an intent to be fired. And the records that I have requested through IPRA requests were not of evaluations, were not of visits, were not anything documenting something that is more considered a private part of the personnel records.
It was the person's
a request for contracts or payroll information, or those are valid and open to the public.
It was an employee's contract.
Okay,
And I also like to mention previously in your board role with the pending litigation we currently have, you also requested a bunch of documents against those members listed in the lawsuits.
This is out of order. This is not
This is my opportunity
Is there-
to defend myself
That's not
against the
defense.
allegations that you're making,
That's not
sir.
defense.
And the president did give me the floor to speak.
I did.
I will
She
end.
has a
I
right
will.
to respond.
I will end there, Mr. President.
Thank you. So you do have a right to respond, and what I see here is this is a discussion we've had last month as well. I think we've discussed with Mr. Piper that any EPRA request, well, we shouldn't have any more EPRA requests as far as from the board, because those get redacted, and I think we've talked about this before already. So I don't know what was given to Miss Begay. I don't know what if she requested, like she said, on her own personal email, personal time. I'm not sure what she was given from the school district. I'm going to come out and say whatever she was given was probably redacted, whatever it was, because we do have to redact. That is why I don't recommend the board. If you guys have a question, email. There's Mr. Piper, who we work with, can answer all of our questions. Again, I'm going to go back and say that I'm a documentation type of person, so I like something to be either documented, presented to us as a board, so I can make a better decision on what's going on, just the way I provided the whole board. When I sanctioned Mr. Williana, I gave you guys proof, I gave everything. You read some stuff, thank you for reading it. I'm just not grasping the fact of documentation, but that's your choice if you want to document and pass through the board or not. So with that, we'll move on to if there is a motion on the floor.
Hold on a second. The other issue has to do, and this is under that, but it's interesting that the policy is being circumvented by, but somebody else did this. Certainly the policy can have
I think
some caveats.
Ms. Fletcher said last month too that you requested plenty, at least 10 or more IPRAs within your time though, right?
Yeah.
So are you saying that the school board members can't request IPRAs?
My IPRAs did not violate this part.
But you're saying that the intentions of these people were that they were getting chop blocked, right? Or something like that? Or they were being targeted by the request for this IPRA? Is that what I had heard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the people that were subjected to this, because they were let know.
So you're bringing in what they felt and how they're feeling
Yes.
to come in and sanction somebody for doing that?
Yes, absolutely. That is our job, to be responsible, to making sure that we follow our procedures and we don't extend beyond our authority.
From what I understand, she didn't do this as a board member.
Let me finish.
She didn't do it as a board member though, right?
Yes, she did. What else did she do it for? Just because she used her own email, she can circumvent this?
Yeah.
I did this in my capacity as a member of the public. Again, Mr. Guadiana has done this in the past with other previous employees asking for contracts, similar information that I asked for. I do not have the energy right now to go round and round with Mr. Guadiana. I'm here to serve kids. He can make a motion, and now we're waiting for a second, Mr. President.
And before we do, I want to have Mr. Piper see what he says about this. Go ahead, Mr. Piper. Mr. Piper.
Let me say something.
I'm going to let Mr. Piper speak first. Mr. Wilgus.
I did check with legal counsel. I've spent a lot of time with them over the last couple weeks. Basically, what I was told was any request from a board member without it being the entire board is considered an IPRA request. And it will be sent to attorneys, redacted where necessary. The only thing out of a personnel file that is public record is a contract. My file, for example, anybody wants to see my contract, they can request it and they can see it. But beyond that, they can't see my evaluation, they can't see my interview stuff and that, because if it does, it would go to the attorneys, which would then, be redacted out.
Thank you, Mr. Piper. Mr. Wilgus, you had something?
Turn on your mic.
Your microphone. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Maybe I misunderstood what I've read the last couple of weeks. But an elected official is not really allowed to go in as a private person because they are an elected official and they're representing the public. So, that'd be like me going in and saying, I want to check out Frank's records and do it as a private citizen, not as a board member. I don't think I have the right to do that. since I'm on this board. If I wasn't on the board, yes, I could do it. But on the board, I'd have to have permission from the rest of the board to go in and look at the records,
Mr. Carrillo, may I
or
respond?
be on the finance board.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. B.
This contradicts what you said earlier about Mr. Guadiana going to the newspaper. Thank you, Mr. President.
I would like to chime in on that. That's exactly the point. I went to the newspaper and it's being called a violation. You're going to this public access and saying, I'm exempt from I'm exempt from having seen as acting on my own official accord. But yet you're saying that I acted on my official accord, which I did not do, by posting something in the letter to the editor.
So, Mr. Williana, do you have a motion for your thing now?
Oh, no, not yet. Not at all yet. The other part of this has to do with the salary that's been given to a relative of one of the board members.
This sounds vaguely familiar of what he did with Melissa Minus when Mr. Cordova was on the board. And might I add that he was censured by that board as well. No, sir, you talked about harassment earlier. I feel like you're harassing me. And I feel like members of this staff would see that you've harassed me in the past. So I ask that this conversation stop, Mr. Carrillo, that we take the motion and the second and move on with our agenda.
So, Mr. Guadiana, it says discussion and approval to sanction board members. Do you have two items, more items to discuss on this?
The one more item has to do with the salary.
So why isn't that listed again? Did you? So let me read this to you, right? So we discussed E, discussion and approval of sanction board member. We took care of that issue. Now we're discussing this. So should we have put another one on there?
No. This is actually the first one we discussed, as pointed out by Mr. Piper. It had members, and this one has member.
Okay.
So it is only of the one board member, and it has to do with two actions that she's taken. One, the IPRA, and the other one is reducing the number of work days for a family member that resulted in getting a pay that's disproportionate to the number of days that she's working.
So is this the items that we've already discussed back in December? I want to say even November, Mr. Piper. Are these the same? Is this the same? Is this the same?
Yeah, and
I brought papers.
Okay.
Do you want to see them?
Sure.
Okay. Then here is.
So what you have here, you're telling the board and myself that this salary schedule that was approved is her fault?
She's on the finance committee and
okay.
She's on the finance.
I understand.
Yeah, she had a great deal of.
But we all voted back then, right? Remember, I was still trying to play catch up here, how this was going on.
So-
Everyone voted. Am I
So the
correct?
finance committee is a subcommittee that gives recommendations to the board. At the time I served on the finance committee, which I currently still do and was appointed. I'm not the only one that sits on the finance committee. There's another school board member that also sits on the finance committee. At the time, it was David Terrazas. And Mr. Frank Ryan is also there on the finance committee, the superintendent, and we have guests that often attend our meetings. So it's an open meeting, it's a discussion. I do not have the authority to change the days of an employee. I do not have the authority to set an employee's salary. This comes down from PED. It's called an assurance, and it lists it specifically in the PED what a teacher makes, a level 1, level 2, level 3 teacher. It also specifies what an elementary teacher, elementary principal, middle school principal, and high school principal makes. I'd ask that if you could please be quiet while I finish my statement. And so I don't have an authority to set anyone's salary. That authority lies with Mr. Piper and the school board. And I want to make it known that this was discussed at a public meeting, salary schedules, stipends. It comes to the full board, which Mr. Guadiana voted in favor of salary schedules when it came before the board last calendar year, and we can go back to the minutes that verifies that. And this has never been a point of contention in the previous 8 years of him being a school board member. Again, I feel like he's harassing me because this is against a family member of mine, and there's no violation of nepotism because this family member was employed with the district before I was elected to the school board. So I want to make that very clear.
Thank you, Ms. Begay. Mr. Piper, you have something?
Yes, I went back and pulled the middle school's contracts for, I think, the last 6 or 7 years, and everyone in that time frame was 190 days or less of those contract years. So this isn't something that was done recently.
And I found some documents, particularly the one that has the colored sheets here, and it has Cobre Consolidated District, and it's for the year 23-24, for the school year 23-24. And there it lists the number of days worked. And it lists for the high school, the middle school principal, 260 days.
And the document right after that is the 23-24 salary schedule that was approved.
Yes.
And it matches the 190, not the 260.
So the question is, how did that happen? How did it go from the one sheet where it had the 260, and so taking a look at other districts, I also attached the one from Sober that was given to me, and it has the middle school principal also at 260 days, and this is something that results in her getting the principal getting more money than anybody else in the district.
And Silver Schools is a 5-day week compared to a 4-day week.
That's correct. But 260 days is 260 days, whether you're on a 5-day week or a 4-day week.
And
That's not the part that's affected by that.
I personally have not seen that colored sheet before. I don't know where it came from. All I have to go on is the approved salary schedule.
But I still don't see how this comes up to your sanction with Ms. Gabby Begay. How does she control this? I mean, you're showing me, and if there's some discrepancies, I understand as a board, as the superintendent, as where everything else. How does this go to her? How did she manipulate this? I mean, I'm just now kind of like, I don't see how this goes to Ms. Gabby Begay.
One thing, it's suspect, being that she's the only one that benefited from this reduction of days, and tremendously benefited from that.
I don't see where is she's at fault though.
As a member of the finance committee, there are no minutes there. I would like to be able to see minutes to see if there was a discussion.
Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Frank, can you shed some light on this?
This has been talked about already, right, Mr. Piper? We've discussed this for months, and like I said, I was trying to play catch up to almost end this item. I want to say that the answers that I've received from you all, the answers I've received from Frank, from Mr. Piper, from legal, don't seem to in agreement with yourself, right, Mr. Bodiana? You don't agree with the answers that everybody's been giving us. I don't know how else to do it.
To address that, I fully don't expect this to pass here. All I need to do is make sure that I brought it up here and given you the information that I have, and then I'll go for a different path.
Understood. Then can we move on then? And do you have a motion for the discussion and approval to sanction board members?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I make a move that we accept this recommendation to sanction Board Member Begay for, one, the request of personnel records without following district policy, resulting in a very hostile environment for the employees that were affected by the request for that. And that the second item has to do with her role in the finance committee and not identifying or affecting the increase of vacation days. Well, actually, the decrease of days worked, resulting in an increase of days paid for not being worked. And I would make a motion that the board approve that sanction.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second. I don't want Gabby to feel left out. I mean, I seconded for you, so.
I would recommend you, Mr. Lucas, to do your votes, and I would recommend them to gather the information and see what you're voting for, not just because, you've already done that a few
I
times.
already know what
I
it's
just,
about.
well, I just go ahead and do this because of this or that.
No, I already know what
It's your vote,
about.
sir, and I respect it, but I would actually look into, the voter voted, look into what you're doing, what makes sense to you is what I would recommend. So I have a first and a second. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
All opposed by saying aye?
Aye.
Okay, motion not passed. Next, we have G, approval of 2026 open meetings resolution.
Get rid of this.
That's right here. So I think I just asked Charlene because she said it was just the change.
Ms. Charlene, do you have that change or for G, approval of the 2026 open meetings resolution?
You know, down calculated item 2 for the date of the month that you are given. The previous one said that you were only twice a month, so that you on the third Monday of the month.
Okay. Have to read that?
You can if you want, and
Just the change?
yes,
And what's the second one here?
yeah, just the, like she said, the days the one day
I
a
put
month.
my computer away and I apologize. It's already been a
Where we at?
hectic
Where we at,
meeting here.
Hector?
So we are at the Cobre Consolidated School Board or School District Board of Education Open Meetings Resolution.
Okay,
We are on
G.
G of number 5. So the change comes to number 2, right, Ms. Charlene? And I'll read the change to that. I read the paragraph before that says, now therefore be it resolved by the Cobre Consolidated School District Board of Education that, then I'll read number 2. Unless otherwise specified, a regular meeting shall be held each month on the third Monday. The agenda for the meeting will be available at least 72 hours prior to the meeting from the superintendent, whose office is located at 900 Central Avenue in Bayard, New Mexico. The agenda will also be posted in the lobby of the Cobre Administration Superintendent's office and on the school district's website at www.cobreschools.org. Right, there's just a typo. Okay, so we need an approval for this.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2026 open meetings resolution, noting the change that we meet every third Monday of the month.
And there's a motion, do I hear a second?
I second.
First and second. For approval, all by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item passes, I'm sorry. So we'll move on to H, second reading and approval of policy F-1400 FF.
No, it's okay.
So, just, can you hear me? Okay. So this is the policy that was put down for the namings of the buildings and the sports and complex and all that, right? This is the final one that we,
Yes. In December, this is the second.
And I did not receive any public comment while I was board president about this particular policy, except from Dr. Quinones. I guess when it gets approved, if the board decides to approve tonight, he wants us to consider the name change with Dr. Eva Menades. So I'd like to make a motion for approval of policy F-1400 FF.
there's a motion. I'll second. First and second. Go out for a vote. All by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes. Item I, approval of salary schedule study with CG Strategies LLC.
Okay, that's mine.
Yes.
This was brought to the board in December, looking at basically administrative salaries. And It was requested by the board to do a more in-depth look at teachers, look at custodial, look at cafeteria, basically district-wide. And so this is his updated proposal. And I was actually pleased with the amount. I think last month was $7,500, $7,000 or $7,500. And this month for the entire staff is only going to be $10,000 for services. So if the board wishes to progress with this, if I can get approval, I can go ahead and get this signed and off to him tomorrow and get a PO, whatever needs to be done fiscally, and we can get him starting the study and he'll provide a report to the board.
I believe this study was requested by,
This was requested by the board, I think, back, I'm going to say late summer, July, August, somewhere in there.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the salary schedule study with CG Strategies LLC.
I second.
the first and a second. All agreements, everybody by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Item passes. Okay, Mr. Piper. Next item on the agenda is item J, discussion and approval of criteria for superintendent search.
This was put together by staff, internal staff, HR, because we denied the RFP for a search consultant. So I believe staff drew up this job posting. Is that correct?
Yes, this is basically done by the HR department. I think Mr. Ryan worked with the HR department as well. Basically, job description is what's right here. Was taken from, my understanding, a couple different districts, maybe a previous posting as well, and then a compilation of that stuff, so.
Thank you. I know that was probably a lot of time and hard work in that, and that's kind of what I came in here wanting to get, instead of going out and paying for someone to do that for us. So thank you to you and your staff.
The staff did a great job. If I could provide just a little input, I think with the bond having passed, I would say, and not maybe necessarily in a job description, but in your advertisement, I think it's very important that they might have some constructions project background, as well as maybe working with PSFA, Public School Facility Authority, Public School Capital Outlay Commission, and those type of things. If when you go to post with the bond having passed, and I think that ability to work with PSFA, obtain a waiver, would be key.
Is that something we could add in there?
I don't know that you want to
just maybe,
necessarily in a job description.
Okay.
But I think when you do your posting, you can say, minimum qualifications are this, and preferred qualifications would be maybe some of those type items.
Okay.
So then this will be a work in progress?
I would say it's ready to post if that's what you want to do. We do have access to New Mexico REAP, I believe.
Yes.
Which a lot of schools can go in and look. It can be posted on New Mexico Coalition of School Administrators, can also be posted on the School Boards Association website as a vacancy as well. So, and then the one thing that I would say you would need is if you want to move forward, would be an application date. Maybe you guys need to, I don't know if you want to just have a couple people set a timeline, either with Mr. Ryan and Norma, as to when you want applications due and what sort of form you want them in. REAP has a pretty in-depth application that would then be emailed, as well as I think references and everything that would go out through the system.
Okay.
Mr. Piper,
Yes, sir.
are you happy with being the superintendent here?
There's times that are a challenge. I've had a great time. I think we've made some progress. I'll tell you what, passing that school bond, I was worried. The community got behind us, we got that passed, and I've had a great time. I am happy being here, yes.
So would you reapply for this position?
I have said I would not reapply. I think that you know what I've done, and I think if it's something that you would like, then you would, consider removing an interim title if you saw fit.
I would.
The one thing that I would encourage is, it seems like, and not to fault anything, but board meetings should be about school business. And I feel too much of our time has been spent on, and continued items. I mean, there's another item on the agenda today related to salary schedules and contract dates. And I know we've talked about this at least 3 previous meetings. And I need to know how to get the information to you so that it's understandable and that. But I've had a great time. I'll tell you what, the staff is awesome. My report a little later, I'll share some other stuff about some of the staff, but it's great. I mean, we've got some schools that are doing some amazing things.
Well,
And,
I just get tired of having a different superintendent every time I change toilet paper.
You changed toilet paper?
Yeah. I think it's time that we get a superintendent that's going to stay here. So I would suggest that we keep you.
Well, Mr. Wilkes, for this item, we could request to be tabled for the next meeting and discuss further options, or we can vote to accept it, move forward, or not accept it. But those will be our 3 options, and we can.
Well, and I think the item was basically to discuss the search and the criteria. Is the criteria that's within that job description what you want?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the criteria for the superintendent search with Mr. Piper's recommendation.
Thank you.
That they have experience as a project manager and the ability to work with the Public School Finance Authority. And my reason to do this is we're coming up on the time when people are looking for jobs, principals, superintendents, and so it'd give our staff plenty of time to go through applications.
Okay, there's a motion on the table. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a second. Call for a vote. All by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
I would like to say this. The reason that I suggested that we keep Mr. Piper is I spend a lot of time at the grade school, especially, because I've got 3 kids in there. And all the teachers seem to be happy with the way he is, the ones that I've talked to.
So,
I don't know how Frank feels about him. I've never asked that.
yeah. So, Mr. Wilkes, that's still an option, and that's still a discussion we can put on the an item still. So, for right now, this item has passed 4-1, and we'll move on there.
4-1?
Yes, Ms. Angelino. Over there. Next, we have K, the approval of bills. This was in the Finance Committee. Yes, go ahead and speak.
Oh, that's all I wanted to say. I did go through the Finance Committee. And I think I had asked about a couple new vendors that I hadn't seen before. The one I think was for our travel, or not our travel, our board virtual learning option. And what was the other one, Mr. Petty?
I'm looking right now. We discussed
Oh, and Blazer Works. That was the other one that I had questions about.
The ancillary people.
Right, the speech and OT.
okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the bills.
There's a motion.
Second.
Mr. Wilkes, second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Next is Al. Approval of budget increase, 27107 GO Bond Student Library Fund.
This was also discussed in finance.
Yes, we have a budget increase in front of you here for $24,824. And this is from general obligation bonds that the state issues every 2 years, and it goes towards libraries. So this is a district-wide allocation, and what we do is we submit it to the school, to each library, and there's guidance of what they can purchase with it, and it just doesn't have to be books. It could be furniture, fixtures, anything for their library. So we discussed this in finance committee, and you have a copy of the agreement signed by the state allocating this money to us, and I approve that I would like this to be approved by you all to proceed.
And we also discussed what libraries would be getting some funds and stuff, right?
Yes, all 6 libraries will be receiving portions of it.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the budget increase 27107 GO Bond Student Library Fund.
There's a motion.
Second.
Mr. Wilkes, second. All approved by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is the approval of budget increase, 29102 private direct grants.
Yes, then this one, the district received a grant from the Freeport McMoran Foundation in the amount of $100,000. And the purpose of this grant is to provide assistance in the program that the district is pursuing right now to provide housing in the village of Santa Clara. So this will be used towards the purchase of the land, 2 trailers, and to furnish them.
I did have lots of questions about this in finance committee. Mr. Piper had said that Mr. Corey is the point person for the project. And so I had asked if they were going to look at other housing contracts with other school districts to see how they handle staff housing. And if we had talked about the landlord and the cost of rent, things like that. So I think there's still some details to flesh out.
Yes, and we actually met with the Village of Santa Clara Friday and talked to them. They're not going to charge us for the water tap. We looked at the electric and stuff. The bid for housing closes this Friday, I believe. And once we've selected what the houses will look like, we're going to start with lot prep, all of that stuff, and spend some money.
Do you have a time frame?
Most of the money needs to be, some of the money is actual capital outlay money, I think, that the city of Bayard has.
Yes.
And it needs to be spent before the end of the fiscal year. And so we'll access that money first and spend it down. And that was with the city of Bayard and Priscilla Lucero from the Southwest Council of Governments.
Well, we have these 2 mobile homes sitting over here. Are they ever going to be used for anything?
You know, we talked about trying to move those, and the way they're set into the concrete and stuff, it was basically impossible to move them. I believe right now they're being used for storage, and quite honestly, I've never been into them.
Wouldn't it make a little bit of sense to remodel them and use them too?
And we looked at that as an option also. And I believe it was something with contractors and that all had to be done with an architect. And the cost of the architect would have eaten up, I want to say $70,000 of the $100,000 just to get the architectural stuff done.
For them to, I knew I should have been an architect.
All right, good. So I just need a motion on the floor here.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the budget increase 29102 private direct grants.
There's a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
There's a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Carrillo, can I say something about that item?
Sure, yes.
I just wanted to thank Freeport for giving us the grant of $100,000. This is going to help our district tremendously in being able to recruit teachers to our site. I know Mr. Piper struggled himself finding a place to stay when he got hired, and so I think it's going to be a great project. And again, thank you to Freeport.
Good. We'll move on to letter N, approval of budget increase 31200, public school capital outlay.
Yes, and this budget increase, we received an allocation from the Public Schools Facilities Authority, and this was given to all districts in the state, and our portion was $203,972. This money will be used towards HVAC upgrades at Hurley Elementary School. That school is on that old geothermal system, which is falling apart on us by the day. Parts are obsolete, pipes are rusting, and so we're looking at just revamping the entire system with all new HVAC systems throughout the entire facility.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Any discussion?
So it's just going to negate the use of the geothermal?
Yes,
So that's going to be shut down?
yes.
We just need a motion if you want to pass.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the budget increase 31,200 public school capital outlay.
Is there a second?
Second.
First and second. All in favor, by signifying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Leads us to number 6, new business. Start with A. First reading of revision to policy B-1400 BE, school board meetings.
This was put on by Ms. Fletcher so that our policy reflects the change in our meeting days to one regular meeting each month.
Is this the same one is it just more in detail? I just read that, the resolution? Okay. Okay. Okay, I give me a motion.
No, it's a new business, so we're taking no action,
Thank you.
of course.
So if there's no more discussion on this, we'll move on to section B, discussion and review of district administrators' contract days. Is this what you were talking about earlier, Mr. Parker?
Yes, sir. So what I put together is another thing showing current salaries and contract days. So basically local authority, which is given by the state to the school board, local school boards and superintendents have the authority to establish the specific number of work days for administrators, including principals, based on the district's operational and educational needs. The salary schedules, the exact number of contract days is specified on the district salary schedule, and these are approved by the local school board and executed by the superintendent. So if you look at the chart below, it talks about the experience that the administrators would have, contract days, and then the state minimum salaries that are set forth in state statute and by the House bill through the legislature. Across the top, we have our elementary principal, middle school principal, high school principal, district administrator, and then the superintendent. So what I did was I just basically took the first 7 years experience-wise. I believe there's, I think, Ms. Martinez out of Hurley may have a few more than 7 years, but that'll give you a rough idea of what the salaries are currently by the 25, 26 salary schedules that were approved by the board in June of last year, as well as the number of days.
Why is there 185 for elementary and middle school and 260 for the high school.
Those are what was inherited by me this last year. So one of the things we're looking at, and I've already visited with Mr. Ryan, basically the high school principal doesn't need to be there that many days. There's no school on Fridays, although if there is an athletic event, the principal is there. The principal's there late as well. What we will probably look at, and I'll visit more with Mr. Ryan, is the high school just needs a little more time for developing the schedules, making sure they're meeting everything they need for graduation. So theirs needs to be a little longer, but quite honestly, it doesn't need to be anywhere near the 260. So this will basically, believe it or not, it's going to generate a savings, because when a high school principal is no longer on a 260, we no longer have to give them annual leave. So it's going to cut down the number of annual leave days that they get, and so that will end up saving the district money. Is that
Paid
fair?
holidays also.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and it will also balance out, I think, a little bit of Mr. Gaudiano's concern about the daily rate of pay.
Well, because I know a lot of the teachers and the principal at the Bayard Elementary, they spend a lot of Fridays there because they do extra stuff for the kids.
Right. And I mean, I know the middle school has been late several nights because, I mean, it's not just an 8-hour day. When there's a basketball game, they're there till 7 or 8 o'clock, making sure every kid got picked up, making sure the building's locked up and secure. And I mean, and that goes for the high school as well, you know.
I know my kids do those after-school
After-school
things,
programs,
and
yes.
them's all till 5 o'clock and after.
Right. And the after-school programming, those teachers receive additional pay for their after-school programming. And I mean, basically, they're exempt employees. If they need to change a bulletin board, and I can guarantee you talk to any teacher, they don't work an 8-hour day. They don't work 185 days because they're there on the weekends. I mean, they will be in their classroom a week to 2 weeks to all summer, making sure that their room is ready for kids.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I
so.
spend a lot of time, like I said, I spend a lot of time there.
I've seen you once or twice.
Thank you.
Mr. President, can I ask for a recess for the purpose to go use the restroom?
Yes. Is everybody okay with that? Go bathroom break, thank you. We're going to go ahead and pause for a recess. Thank you.
What do you want to do? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Weak kidneys.
The bag's not full.
Put them in a wheelchair, they'll learn to wait. I would get my neck in the damn noose.
No.
I think I got people mad at me now.
Doesn't take much.
Yeah, you know, if you're gonna be in public office, Cleo told me one time. Remember Cleo?
Yeah, I remember Cleo.
He says, if you're gonna be in the public eye, then you better be like a duck. When it rains on you, it runs off. He said, you don't listen to what people say. And he was one of the few, me and him, I was in his office with him one day, because I had a bunch of inventory stolen. And it come up stolen again out of their evidence room. Yeah. 10 batteries, bunch of carburetors, tools. It all disappeared. And only one person was allowed to go in there. And I was mad. And I was thumping Cleo in the chest and screaming at him. He was thumping me in the chest and yelling at me. And when we got done, I said, let's go drink some tea. And he says, okay. We opened the door, and everybody in his office was standing at the door trying to hear us. And we drove over here to the M&A and had lunch and drank tea and talk. And, yeah.
Did they pay you for them? There was
No, they wasn't. They're not responsible for what is stolen out of their evidence. It cost me about $5,000 in tools and batteries and.
That doesn't seem right. I think that would have been something I don't know. What is it harder than it sounds like?
When I had my garage in Illinois, that house next door to my property filled with gasoline.
So the state was trying to, what was it?
I think we got the 5 minutes going. Thank you all for that little recess. We left off on new business. I believe it's going to be letter B, discussion and, no, I'm sorry. We did discuss that, right, B? It's going to be C now, discussion of innovation zone grant.
I had a question still on the previous one.
Yes, sir.
The number of hours, the contract day, we should say, that still results in the middle school principal getting more money than the high school principal per day. 587 versus 475 for the high school principal.
Correct. The way this was, that's correct for the daily rate of pay.
We're okay with that.
It's something that we've already looked at and we're going to address this year through Finance Committee salary schedules and that.
So this isn't us approving this then?
No, it's just for the discussion information.
Okay.
Okay. So now we'll move to section C, discussion of innovation zone grant.
Yes, this was, I believe, an agenda item that Mr. Gadiana had requested be on, and the kids were paid. I believe it was the 9th of January, they received their pay. There was, I think, a little discrepancy in the amount, hourly amount, and that has been addressed and fixed and will be updated with their next paycheck. And direct deposits went well. You know, we're still working trying to get kids in, and it's amazing to me that some of the kids don't respond. They won't respond to voicemails, text messages, and I mean, we're trying to get them in here and get their paperwork completed through the HR department so they can be paid. But the good news is they've been paid, and they're up to date, and they're working, and they're excited. I visited with Ms. Taylor McWhorter at several events, and she, you know, following up with her, and she's excited, and things are going good, and the kids are excited that they're getting their pay.
Well, what are they doing for the jobs?
Oh, there's a variety of things. I know there's some that work at, I'm going to say, Central Elementary.
So it's based on what their goals in life, right? Is right on
Right.
their career.
Yeah, career pathways.
So
and
if somebody
stuff.
wants to be a secretary or some, they try and find them.
Right.
Similar to that job. Is that correct?
Yes. And like I said, the ones at Central Elementary, Miss Ogos loves them. She says they go above and beyond. They're even going like for evening events and stuff and helping. So I think they're, you know, they're really excited about what they're doing. And I know Miss McWhorter's actually looking at the healthcare profession. I'm not sure where she's been placed, but we've had some conversations about what she wants to do and that. And I'll tell you what, she's a go-getter. So.
So, like when I was 60 years younger, we had a thing where I went to school at. And junior and senior year, you could work 4 hours a day. And you went to school 4 hours, then you worked 4 hours.
Okay.
And you got to pick what you wanted to do.
Yes. And I can tell you just a little bit about Ms. McWhorter's schedule because she's the one probably I'm the most familiar with. Mr. Carrillo can tell you about his daughter who's in the program, but she goes to high school 3 days or three classes a day at high school. She's taking 4 college classes plus working. So, I mean, like I said, go get her. She's going to graduate with her associate's degree before she graduates high school. So, I mean, just really proud of some of those students over there at the high school and the effort they're putting into this.
And a large part of it it brings in employment opportunities outside of school for public entities as well. And that's one thing that I'd kind of like to get an update on of how many private companies do we have people placed at? And if there's a recruitment effort to try to increase that. And so I don't expect that answer right here, right now, but really what I was looking for was that regarding the pay, something tells me the kids were noticing that they weren't getting paid way back in October. And was that addressed? Was that communicated? Was it addressed? And have we put in a process that we can have ticklers basically put up so that alerts will put up when, hey, we're supposed to do this by that time?
Right, and that's one of the things that, you know, we need to fix. We need better communication within our office, and I'll own that. I said that to the students. I think the grant may have been provided to, I'm going to say I think Mr. Corey was the one that wrote the grant, but it didn't get relayed on down where it needed to go, so that maybe our half of central office could have submitted this a little earlier.
Yeah, and it came from PEP like very late in this year and compared to years past also.
So.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Piper, I just had a suggestion. You said some of the kids you are not able to get a hold of. Could you do like 2 hours with the HR person over there and just say, we're going to have the HR coordinator here. please come down and get your required documents.
And she actually did that this month. They spent some time at the high school and called the students in and say, hey, now unfortunately, they may not have all the documents they need, but she's in the process of doing that and then contacting parents as well.
Thank you. And I did see an email where a parent said she was very professional. So thank you for sharing that with us too.
Yeah. I mean, they just, the parent was in with the student and just had nothing but great things to say about Norma there in the HR department.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no more discussion, we'll move to number 7, our Finance Committee report.
So at our finance committee, I can go and then you could fill in the gaps.
Sure.
So we did talk about the budget increase for the student library fund. I asked Frank how that is distributed across the district. He said it's fair to each school. The private direct grants, like I stated earlier, I had a lot of questions about the housing. If we're going to model like housing maybe in reserve or Animas and how they do their student housing, the rent, the cost of rent for the area, and then, the electricity, the cost of internet, we talked about all those things, if that was going to be on the tenant. And then as far as the public school capital outlay, the heating system at Hurley, before I was a school board member, I was employed with the district, and I will say that it was a hit or miss out there when I was teaching. So I think the teachers and students and families will appreciate that new heating system going into that school. We talked about the bills. I did, as I mentioned earlier, have questions about a couple of the vendors, and they were answered for me. Did I leave anything out?
We also talked about how some of the staff and coaches that have access to their cards are using it when they go and eat. So we asked Mr. Piper to look into talking to these coaches, the head coaches and stuff. There was a few statements there, again, from another sport that they eat at Hooters. So we want to make sure that they kind of use a little bit of more sense into where they're taking their teams to eat and how they're representing Cobre. So we did talk about with Mr. Piper to bring that up and go from there. So, but other than that, the process was explained really how they use their cards and stuff like that. So I think that was it. I'm looking at everything else that we talked about that's on the agenda on the Finance Committee. I did want to tell Mr. Frank, thank you for, I'm trying to find it, and I guess I'll just ask you for it. You provided a form that really, is it about the budget balance? Or that you made up yourself, in other words?
The fund balance report, I believe, yeah.
The budget balance report, so I want to thank him for that, because that's out of he put everything in perspective for us there, and that really just makes it a lot easier to look at where we're at with almost every line item that the district has, so thank you. Go ahead.
I have a question. Have you started laying down any schedules for budget?
That was talked about, the schedule's not yet until late. We're thinking, was I right, maybe March?
Yeah, once we get, once the legislative session is through, and we know what our unit value is going to be, and we'll have a lot better. But until then, we really don't. We're looking at staffing right now, and then in fact, we're going to discuss that at our next Finance Committee meeting is staffing, and start the process from there.
The other question has to do with, is there second quarter data available?
Not yet. That report is due to PED January 31st, and as soon as I submit it, then we'll put it on the agenda, the board agenda for approval.
Anything else? No? Okay, then we'll move to number 8, Audit Committee Report.
We did not meet, correct?
Correct. It was basically,
The weather, it was.
well, yeah, I think there was some weather stuff at that time, but there was also all of the school districts' audits were due, I think, on the 20th. And I did reach out to Audrey Jaramillo and visit with her a little bit. She's been under the weather quite a bit. I think the long hours and stuff, but we will meet this next time. I think we're close, but we'll get an update from her for the next meeting. And once we do talk to her, I'll go ahead and send out an update as well. I know the one thing she was waiting on was our capital assets thing, and that's with that company. We're just basically waiting on them to do that, so.
I thought that was done already.
Well, they did the inventory. They went through and inventoried everything and labeled it and that, but it hasn't, I don't think we've received it back yet, have we?
No, the report, no.
Yeah, because I think they've got to look at like historical data and some of that stuff as well, maybe, so, and depreciation, some of that. So we're waiting on that.
What's the threshold for our capital assets?
$5,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more discussion on the audit committee report? No. Then we'll move on to number 9, board member reports. I'll start with our secretary, Ms. Angelina Harden.
Yes, I just want to thank Mr. Wilgus. Welcome. I want to thank the communities that voted for me. And I want to thank 2 organizations from Members Valley that donated money for the Christmas gifts to the kids, the donations for the hams for the families of the school district. And I want to thank the employees that have retired and still coming back to sub for the district. That's awesome to see.
Thank you. Ms. Vice President, please begin.
Congratulations to all the newly elected school board members. I also just want to wish good luck to the kids. I know at the elementary, they're taking their middle of year assessments. And so I know it's kind of stressful as a teacher and as a student when you're taking those assessments. And I know flu season's going around. As a teacher, I'm around it all the time. So please remember to wash your hands, as our nurse would say, and use hand sanitizer. Thank you.
Thank you. Myself, well, it's been an interesting first meeting for me as a board president. But I also want you all to know that as a board president, I'm going to do the best that I can. I want to lay out even a 90-day plan that I'll submit to you all next month. Want to move forward, and I think I agree with Mr. Piper. Sometimes that we discuss a lot of items here. It needs to be more for the students and staff, and what we have one goal, and I think it's all, we want this district to succeed, and that's what I want for the district. So with that, also want to say how proud I am of all the sports. I mean, I go to the sports. My daughter's a cheerleader, so I go see girls basketball, boys basketball. This Saturday, we're going to have powerlifting here. It's going to be a big event. So I want to wish them luck and keep representing Cobre the way they do. So with that, I will be attending with Mr. Piper, and I think you're going to, Mr. Boliana, to Santa Fe, the February 4th or 5th to the 7th, right? So I'm kind of looking forward to see what else I can learn and what else I can bring back to the board and to the district. So with that, I'll turn over to Mr. Boliana.
I echo the same thing. Welcome to the board. And the activity for Christmas at the high school was actually a really nice one. There was a lot of participation. It was very festive and a good way to end the year. I am going to be attending that session in Santa Fe, and with hopes to learning a few things still from PED, as well as looking at going to see how viable it is for us to be on the track for getting the new school. I think that's got to be one of our biggest priorities. And with what you said in terms of a 90-day
plan, we need a strategic plan. We've been going at a lot of stuff without really having firm understanding from everybody as to what it is that the goal is of the board as well as of the community for the school district. And previously, we used to have each school come in and give an update on what it is that they're doing and what it is that they need help with. Although we never really responded with their things that they identified for help, I hope this can change. And we can make better progress in that and make it more meaningful, not just, okay, we have a strategic plan, this is what we're going to do, and it really doesn't matter on the content or the results. So I welcome that opportunity to participate in putting that in place.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oleana. And again, Mr. Wilkes, congratulations and welcome to the board in Europe.
Yeah. Now, I want to thank everybody that did vote for me. I'm not sure if they did me a favor or not, but I know how important this board is. And, you know, a lot of the bitching and bickering.
I'll have to refrain you from cursing, Mr. Wilkes. We can't do that in public meetings. But go
Because
ahead.
it takes up a lot of time and it's taken away from the time that we could spend doing something constructive. So, and that's about all I've got to say right now.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkes. So we'll move on to number 10, Superintendent's Report, a preventative maintenance plan update.
Yes, once again, little shout out to the staff here at Central Office. Just got an email about our preventative maintenance plan. It's due every year, needs to be updated. Just like to read it, it's real short. They've received it. It's current and approved in their database, which is one of the things that's needed when we start going to PSFA. This comes from PSFA. So it's one of the things they look at. So the plan was rated overall outstanding rating, exceeding statute performance elements with many recognized best practices and processes. It is current for 12 months, which, you know, lasts till January of next year. And this is due to the work of Jasmine Black up there in the front. I mean, she keeps this updated, makes sure it's accurate, up to date. And 41 out of the 44 preventative maintenance elements were an overall outstanding performance. So just wanted to share that with you. It's up to date. She did an awesome job on it. Works very independent, doesn't need a lot of oversight, which, you know, is much appreciated because there's a lot that everybody in the office has to do. So it's nice when they complete that stuff with very little supervision or any supervision, in fact. So I really appreciate her work on that.
Was that the plan update that we had seen last meeting and approved?
I think so, yeah.
Was there a maintenance something that we,
Approved and sent
okay,
in.
because I had
Yes.
read something like that.
Okay.
It should be noted that before the change in superintendent started, the old process included several inspections that listed over 100 findings that were never attended to. So I appreciate the direction, the progress that's being made here, and particularly to this level. That's extraordinary because they inherited us. They inherited it.
And she's done a great job with that. And like I said, when we start going to PSFA and looking for waivers with building and stuff, this is one of the things they look at. They look at your preventative maintenance plan because they want to make sure you're taking care of the facilities that you have.
Awesome.
And then I guess next on my report, fundraisers, you have those in front of you. There have been a lot of things going on. The tacos were excellent on Friday.
They're very good.
They were very good. You know, it's nice when they do that and then they deliver it to us because, I mean, a lot of times we get busy and we forget. And really appreciate them. You know, and they're doing a great job for the kids. Ends up saving the district some money and stuff. Gets those kids some I'm going to call it just other athletic type stuff. I know the cheerleaders have done it. I think every team does some fundraising on their own, so really appreciate what they've done. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Piper. Now we'll move on to number 11, executive session. Notice is hereby given so that the Cobre Board of Education will meet an executive session for the following purposes as permitted under the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. A, so that the interim superintendent can update the board on pending litigations as permitted under section 10-15-1H7 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, specifically to discuss number 1, Annette Acosta versus Cobre Consolidated School District, case number D-608CV 2024-00026. Number 2, Cecilia Joyce Varela versus Cobre Consolidated District, D-608CV 2024-00028. Diana Davis, number 3, versus Cobre Consolidated School District, D-608CV 2024-00031. Number 4, Melissa Minus versus Cobre Consolidated School District, D-608CV 2024-00029. And number 5, Maureen Peru, ETAL versus Cobre Consolidated School District, D-608CV 2023-00280. We need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for the reasons just listed.
I second.
There's a first and a second individual vote. Ms. Harden?
Yes.
Ms. Begay?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Guadiana?
Yes.
And Mr. Wilkes?
Yes.
So we are now in executive session. Time is 7:11 p.m.
So this meeting in Santa Fe? What is it about? The session?
Just the school board. Yeah, well, we'll have time to go to the legislature,
Oh,
visit with legislators and stuff. I'm actually going to Grant County Day next month. Everybody from Grant County is going up. Yeah,
You
so
guys
they have a
should go.
reception with like the
It's,
representatives. Sometimes the governor shows up.
yeah, so really, it's kind of weird, right? Everybody you see here in Grand County, you just go see them in a room over there. And they have dinner and drinks and stuff. But I think what the legislators look at, because this is going to be my third year, is just who's supporting it. You know, they'll call someone out quick, oh, Bayard wasn't here, or nobody from Santa Clara was here. It doesn't really matter if they're there because really, that's really what it is. But it's just more of a show, I think, of support, the way I see it, right? I mean, yeah, and they do talk about a lot of other stuff, you know, legislature and stuff, yeah.
because
But
like.
nothing we can't do here in Mimbres. I mean, nothing we can't do here.
But like Mimbres, you know, it's rural, it's not
Right,
a town or community. They don't have mayor.
that's right. Yeah. No, but yeah, it's something that, you know, it's all just in a room.
We
come back into
the minutes, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so I think we're ready. Time is 7:50 PM. We'll do number 12 now, reconvenience in open session at the conclusion of the executive session for statement affirming that no action was taken in executive session and that discussions were limited to the items listed in the agenda for executive session. Need a motion to go back into open session.
I move that we go back into open session.
Second?
There's a motion and second. Do we need an individual vote for this?
If you want to.
Okay, individual vote, we'll go with Mr. Wilkes,
Yeah.
Mr. Guadiana,
Yes.
I can't
myself,
hear,
yes, Ms. Begay,
Yes.
and Mrs. Harden.
Yes.
Okay, we are back now in open session, and we'll move on to number 13, adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
Second?
First, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right, we're adjourned.